It's
It's
great.
Okay,
You're live.
all right.
Do your magic.
Welcome, everyone, to the March 10th Manchester Tourism Community and Development Meeting. Miss Lori, if you don't mind calling roll and declaring quorum for us.
Lori Perry.
Here.
Lori Watson.
Here.
Joseph Sherrill.
Here.
Erin Cahaley. She's missing. Alderman Messick.
Here.
Lori West will declare quorum.
Awesome. Okay, did everybody have a chance to review the agenda minutes from last meeting?
Move to approve.
All right, do I have a second? Awesome. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Citizens' comments or questions from our meeting last time? Any of those? All right, moving right along. Let's see. New business. Did everybody have a chance to look at their 25-26 budget?
Did we get one?
There's not one here.
No,
I didn't get one.
I didn't get one either. Was I supposed to?
Did you email them or something, or?
No,
All right,
Okay.
we're gonna have to go home till we get this.
no, hear me out. So.
It was supposed to.
It was supposed to
Yes.
be here.
It's not that complicated, is it? I mean, it's something we can look at.
Okay, here's what he's told us. I mean, and
Anthony's
Anthony can
here.
helping us out here. Mayor Hobbs told us we have $130,000 to approve for next year. Is that what you have?
I have not been given an input on that yet, so if he said it's 130 grand, that's 130 grand, so if that's his original estimate, I mean, I'm looking at last year's, which was the 118, so, going forward, you know, Finance Committee meets, you know, week, yeah, so we'll have some more conversations. And we've got actually some special calls and some other things coming up.
So
with
when is
Finance
it
Committee.
due to you, approved by us?
Now,
Okey-doke. That's what we thought.
We're not that pushed for time, are we? I mean, this is March,
The-
so April.
the responses are due back now from all
But
the satellites.
don't we need to build from the bottom and just say what we need and see where we're at, instead of just taking a $130,000 figure? I mean, we might want a little bit more.
Well, the way it's been explained to me is we can have more as approved by BOMA,
Yeah.
As
yeah,
needed.
Yeah.
as
We
needed.
need, well, yeah, that's complicated, isn't it, if we do that?
Well, I think where the mayor's getting that $130,000 figure is from prior budget conversations I've had with him. We know that your actuals are gonna come in somewhere $125,000, $130,000 this year. So I think he's counting on that, you know, at least that same amount of money for next year. And that's kind of where that figure's coming from.
And then he said any additional new projects that we want to take on, we would do those individually.
Well, let me tell you, from 6 years of experience on the BOMA, it's a lot easier to get it slipped through in a big financial first package than it is to
Than
get
it is
added
individually later
later.
on. Okay? Well, what do you recommend?
Well, I don't know, but I mean, we went over all the nice things we want to try to do, like lights all over the square and all that, we need to figure out how much it's gonna cost. And we need to kind of put that onto our budget. And we need to ask for it, because I'm telling you, you'll get 6 votes to pass the budget, or you'll get 5. And if you bring it up individually, you might get 3 and 3, you might get 4 and 2.
Depending on what's going
Depends
on in
on
other
how good a
areas.
mood everybody's in and what's
Right.
going on and how mad they are. So I think you need to put it all together.
All right.
And that's just a suggestion.
No,
okay?
no, we actually met separate, not
Separately.
met, but got an advisory message with what they were gonna need from us and that was what we were told, so,
Katie was bringing numbers for the lights, an approximate number. We're looking at the ice rate again, which we were working with Katie, see if we can do that again. Multiple things.
I wanted $40,000 to fix up the intersections, I mean, the
Right.
interstates, you know? So, and we're not gonna get it all, okay, and that's cool.
Uh-huh.
But if we don't ask for it, we're not gonna get any of it.
I am happy to support if we wanna try to go for it. I don't know what the process is.
You submit a budget.
Budget.
Right,
You
and
tell us
that's
what
why
you
we wanted
want.
Anthony
Because
to come and kind of guide us through the process of how that works from his perspective to the BOMA perspective, because I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gotta go through what, 2 readings?
You give us a budget, we'll talk about budget finance. We'll cut what we think we can't do, and the rest of it will go in the big budget. The big budget gets passed August, July, June. I need one of those months, I was close.
That way
you
it
had a
kicks
1
in
chance,
July
a 1 in 12
1.
chance.
Yeah,
That way it kicks in July 1.
yeah.
Okay, so looking at lights, Christmas lights, do we have an idea of the amount?
Yeah, so I'll bring this up to y'all so you can look at it.
And it doesn't have to be exact, since we're just talking budget
Yeah,
numbers, we're
no.
just kind of, how much more money are
That,
we needing?
there are 2 quotes that are there for 2 workings of doing all of the entire square. A lot of it are really like vast ideas, so I emailed it all to the mayor today to go in and look at, to pick and choose what he wanted to keep, what he didn't want to keep. But those approximate numbers with everything that's listed there is $16,250.
16,
Okay.
so 17.
$6,250.
16,000.
Oh, I thought it said 6250. Okay, no.
So that's an approximate-ish on that.
Right.
That's for the whole square, right?
It's for the whole square.
So what else do we want to do?
Okay, so here's,
What about that?
here's what the number is. So I padded that
Yeah,
line item at 30 grand.
you did a
Last
good
year.
job, yeah,
That was for banners too.
yeah. So we could just say, 1650 is what we need, so 1750 is what we ought to ask for.
Yeah, I wrote down 17,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I would do 17 because
17.
there's always something that they don't think about.
So what else did we want to do that was extra this time?
Well, we were talking about doing the ice skating rink again with real ice.
Yeah.
We got a grant to do that this last time.
Well,
There's money left on that grant, but we don't know if we can repeat. And when I was talking to Katie, she was gonna check and see if real ice versus the synthetic ice might make it different enough.
Yeah,
Did she have an answer for us there, or?
I don't know.
Okay.
She was unfortunately out of town, she had a death.
I understand,
benefit,
I
yeah.
understand. Oh,
Yeah.
no, I just didn't know if she kinda gave you a heads up as to an answer on that.
I don't know if she did or not, actually. We've been in and out,
Yeah.
both of us.
Well, I mean,
so-
she had an unexpected
Yeah.
death in the
Yeah.
family. I mean, hey, life happens.
Yeah,
No. I just didn't know if she gave you a heads up before she headed out.
Mhm.
So, without that grant for real ice, and I'm not gonna hold you to it, but just, do you have any idea what we'd be looking at?
I've got that too.
there you
Awesome,
go.
you are, she's
Girl,
my
I'm
girl,
prepared.
she's my girl.
So the only other thing that I'm waiting on with that quote system, is for a 7-week period. Now, I don't think that we would run it that long.
Right.
I gave him an approximate time frame, kind of what we had last year, and he didn't give me pricing based on that. All he said was 7 weeks. So I sent him another email to get some more
Yeah, I saw it.
clarification to see if that was like a minimum, and we
Mm-hmm.
had to do it for that long, but that is all the pricing that he gave me as of right now.
Okay.
So
So-
if anything changes, I'll
What was the
obviously.
price for 7 weeks?
Just for the rental of that was $150,000
With real ice?
Mm-hmm.
with real ice, and that's no fencing, that's no people working it.
So that's
Music,
prohibitively
lights.
expensive, don't you think?
Yes, I do. Especially if we have no grant money.
Yeah.
And the grant was what, 50 to 60,000 that we used
So,
Mhm.
the last
That's
time?
what we used
yeah,
last
I
time.
think we used like 48.
Yeah.
We have to, right? We gave,
And then, obviously, if we have real ice, the price to do it would be
Yeah.
more than $5. I mean, that's just, that's how it would have to be in order to even
We didn't spend
consider.
$100,000 last year on that, did we, AJ?
No,
It was like 46,000 something, I believe.
Yeah.
That doesn't include.
so the grant basically paid for the rental fee. And then we charged enough to hopefully cover everything else
Yeah.
that went with it, and we were a little short, but not bad. I mean, we wanted to have a zero net and just have a good experience, to hopefully draw people here, from surrounding areas as well.
And that was the first year too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it was synthetic, and I'm sure other people got wind of it and said, I'm not going to that.
I actually got really good response. I only got
Did you?
negative from two people,
people?
and one was more just, I don't think we could have done anything to please her.
Those does.
And then one was, they
that
really
my
wanted
ex-wife?
real ice, and I said, well, you're paying $5. Yeah. One was like, I really wanted real ice, and I was like, it's $5. Go look at what you pay at Opryland if you want to go get on real ice. So, I don't have a problem doing the synthetic ice again. I think, to me, it's gonna depend on if we get the grant money. If we get the grant money, maybe. But I think doing real ice with no grant money is cost prohibitive.
So how much does it cost to do, can we still do it like for 46,000 next year if we use synthetic ice? Is that where I'm kind of getting a,
I mean, unless they go up, I would assume it'd be the same price.
somewhere around there?
Yeah.
So I'd say it's probably around 50-ish.
And if we get the grant money, it covers that cost, right, Katie? Pretty much.
Yeah, for that.
For
from
the
what I
rental.
understand,
And
yeah.
then the price to do it
Yeah.
is what pays for all the other stuff that goes around it.
Now, the grant this year will be less amount, correct?
It'll be less, yeah.
I thought we only did
Wait
half.
a second, yeah, 'cause
Okay.
I don't remember now, Katie's saying, or would we actually even be able to do it?
Well, she's not sure because it's the repeat of the same thing, so
Yes.
she was gonna check on that.
Yeah,
So that's,
right.
don't know for sure.
Because if we can't do it, we gotta come up with something else to do with that money.
Right.
And
I'm
then,
pretty sure the dollar amount of the grant is gonna be less this upcoming.
Do you know how much less? I thought it was half and half, so, I mean, that's
I
okay.
don't remember, but I know it was gonna be less.
Okay.
I don't remember how much.
Is that a line item in the budget?
The grant, yeah.
How much was it last year?
Last year was 9,650 additional revenue. Let me ask you, how close do you have any other big items? Or are you gonna get to your $115,000 that was budgeted for this year to expend? You're at about 94,000 now. Are you gonna get to the 115, you think?
That's a
that's a iffy,
maybe.
Yeah, It's gonna
maybe.
be close.
So you're telling me you're probably not gonna overrun it.
No, 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 no,
No.
no, no. We
Okay.
try to hit it as close
As
as we
close as we
can
can.
without going over, kinda like Price is Right, but,
Hey, but the more money we have, the more we'll
Yeah.
spend it.
Yeah.
I mean, the only big thing that I could think that
For the
would,
community.
yeah, would be happening, is there was a point where it was talked about landscaping around the square for right now.
Yeah.
and we need to do that now, obviously,
Yeah.
in the spring, so
In
the
the
stuff
spring.
that gets in the ground and lives and doesn't die. So I would be, good with
Mhm.
going ahead and getting that going.
Yeah.
And then the point of clarification, I didn't want to freak everybody out when I said your budgets are due now. They are, but what that is the first pass, right? And then in the month of April, there's a lot of, that's when the reviews and the tweaking happen.
So we have an opportunity to tweak this.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
So-
So whatever you submit now, like I said, that's the first pass. And then it's the subtleties or the nuances, the revisions that'll happen in April.
okay.
And since the mayor's already going off the estimated revenue of 130,000, and then what we're gonna focus on is anything up and above that, what I call initiatives, where you're asking for maybe something new or bigger or whatever, and that would drive the expenditures.
Well, and that would be the ice rink if we chose to do real ice, if we choose to do it again. I mean, that was one of the biggest things that we did. All right, Miss Katie, if you could get me an answer on that grant, what is left that we have to spend this upcoming year? Can we do the ice rink again? And if they say no to doing the exact same thing again, what if we did real ice? Would that change it enough? And then that way we know.
Yeah, we
You
need
know.
to know. We really need to know. I mean, we need to know
I agree.
soon.
I thought we were gonna get that
I
tonight,
thought
but
we
she
were
had a
gonna
death
know
in the
tonight, yes.
family.
She had death,
That's
yeah.
okay,
So
yeah.
that's,
I understand.
life happens to everybody.
It does.
So if you don't mind, if she could get that to us next time, that would be much appreciated. And that way we can just kind of know, is that even in the realm of possibility? Because without the grant, real ice is off the table. I mean, we would, if we.
Yeah, I think it's off the
If
table.
we
yeah.
did it, it would definitely be synthetic ice and, may even look at what we need to charge with that. But if we could do the grant again, I think we can pull the synthetic ice off again. And if somebody doesn't like, it was pretty well attended. AJ and I talked about tweaking the dates to, and I think it was in here that it needed to be, when the kids are out of school and just extended longer, maybe past New Year's.
Yeah.
Yeah, because our numbers definitely went up when the kids were out of school. So, just some things to think about. And then if we don't do that, would we like to do another big draw of some sort during Christmas and what that might be? So, if the grant, if she finds out before the next meeting, if she could just kind of let us all know, then AJ and Miss Thang over there, who's always so prepared, if this is off the table, what would you think? Talk to your friends who run rec centers, other places. What are some big cool draws that we could possibly do that, it's not ice skating, but maybe something else?
What's our budget? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying.
What's our budget for 4th of July and all that?
It's doubled.
We doubled it to have the big
Doubled it.
boom.
Okay.
So, is that enough for you, AJ?
So we had a conversation about the Parks and Rec budget this past week.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, out of that conversation, I think what has transpired is the money that's allocated in our budget for fireworks to be moved out of our budget and added to tourism. And that way, whenever we do invoices, it all is coming from
One pocket.
one pocket instead of us doing part, you guys doing part. We'll still handle the communication with the vendors. But I think to just streamline the invoicing, I think that's what we decided to do. So, I mean, when we did our budget, we took out, I think it was $20,000 out of our budget already. What we had allocated. Yeah, we
So we need to
had
add
$20,000
$20
for fireworks. So we put a zero next to that in our budget for that because we had our conversation with the mayor, it was all gonna start coming out of tourism's budget.
Okay, so
Okay.
he paid 20 last year,
Right,
so we
'cause it
need
doubled.
we need to add 20 to whatever we doubled it to
But
be.
that's just fireworks, right?
Yeah, that's just fireworks.
That's not the band.
Correct.
Okay, so we need to add band.
Damn, what, 10,000?
Ish,
Ish.
Something like that.
10 to 12. I'd say put 12 down, and then if we don't need 12 and we need 10, we're all right.
I'm assuming I'm putting all these numbers back together and
I don't know, that's an Anthony
going
question.
back to you.
We're gonna talk about all this on the 18th. Will we get into that far into the weeds on this?
Not only.
I know, that's why I'm like,
I mean, unless it's something, that if we want to.
So really, we got till the next budget
Right.
meeting. So we've got time.
It's a matter of
To
just
do-
plugging numbers into my,
I know.
I
but-
know, I know.
So we were gonna do banners. We were gonna do more Christmas lights.
Banners have already been
So we're
ordered,
we're
correct?
done with all the
Banners
banners
is in this budget.
budget.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's in this budget and we're done.
So we're gonna do more Christmas lights.
We talked about the signs.
We talked about more Christmas lights, landscaping, and signs.
this is your
I
Christmas
don't know
light.
what kind of landscaping we were gonna do, but, I mean, I don't know what kind of signs we were gonna get.
I thought it was the Manchester. Ci-
The mayor was supposed
He
to
wants
come
to
and have,
change out
The
the
logo,
signs.
yeah.
You know, where it says big red signs. He wants to change them out and replace them.
So we
'Cause they're
gotta-
old.
I know, and they need, I'm
need
not
to
saying they
place-
don't
yeah.
need it, I'm just saying if we're gonna do it, we need to know what it's gonna cost and it needs to go in budget.
Yes, the mayor was supposed to
Yeah.
come and give us that tonight, but he couldn't make it to the meeting,
Yeah.
so we
Cool.
need to get that number from him as well.
What about more Christmas lights?
That is
That's
your
this.
That's it.
16,250.
16, yeah.
Oh, that's for the
17,000.
square,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
No,
No,
no.
no.
Landscaping,
You know, that's just kind of a far-fetched idea, I guess, but I think it looked good, but it's probably gonna cost too much for us.
Talking about the interstate or the square?
Well, the square, I mean, do we take care of the square? Do we landscape the square?
Yeah.
So but that, we've always landscaped the
Right.
square, so that was in last year's budget too. So you're not
Correct.
gonna increase that, right?
No.
that's not
Yeah.
the plan.
Yeah. We just really need to know what our.
No, but here's
increase
the
is.
reality of it, if we
Yeah.
decide to do it right now, I mean, next meeting, y'all can like vote and say, oh, get the bids together. I don't even think it's gotta be bidded out. I think it's just gotta
So-
be quoted out.
How about next meeting, we have a budget on paper, line by line, what we're gonna spend? Can we do that?
That's an Anthony question.
No, Anthony would like that, I know.
Well,
Can
here's
we
the
do
deal.
it?
Here's the deal. We're volunteers. We're not
Uh-huh.
employees. And so it has been stated very clearly that we don't want Lori
Here's the thing,
to,
I did a budget last year.
Yeah.
Sat at my table and did a budget, and it never got sent in
Why?
until me and Katie Riddle sat at his office talking about a grant, and I physically handed it to him, and he scanned it in then.
Well, if we don't do a budget, what do
So,
we do? Just,
wasting my time is not fun.
yeah, I'm not saying we should. I'm just saying we should have a budget. Like
Under-
every other
No, I
person,
understand.
yeah.
We have to have a
Yeah.
budget. That's what that money's for.
I'll
And
help you
And
if
if
you
we're
want
gonna
me to
run
help
it,
you.
and we're gonna do
Yeah.
it right,
Yeah,
that's all
I'll be
I'm
glad to
saying.
help all I can, just call me.
And it's just a matter of just plugging the numbers, and I've already got
Yeah.
a spreadsheet rolling.
So let's just get together and do it then.
But the reason that we didn't have that tonight is because we thought that that was gonna be something that was gonna be taken off of Lori's plate to do, because once again, we're volunteers. We're not,
Everybody is.
you know.
I mean,
we're
you
not-
know.
yeah. Well,
I'm a
you
volunteer.
know, but what I'm saying is that that's why, I mean,
I understand,
hard to-
I understand. Yeah, I mean, you know, I understand. And I'm not
when you don't
fussing
have
on y'all.
something to look at, it's
So,
hard
yeah.
to, I don't
I'm
know.
just saying, if you're gonna do better, let's start, and I think we need a budget.
Yeah, you cut that Yeah, this is what the year to the actuals. But if you'd like to take this, that's the remaining balance right there. That's the balance to go right there. So if you highlight those two numbers right there, that's what you burned, and then there's a balance to go right there.
We had a spreadsheet last year.
she's
Yeah,
got
Yeah,
one.
there's one
Because
somewhere.
Lori, because Lori made one.
There's one somewhere. We just need to get it and add on to it and do it again. I think.
Lori, when you're ready, would it be preferable, you and Katie want to just stop by the office and have us sit down and go over it?
Well, and let me know.
Yeah.
I'll be happy to attend.
I can't do it this week.
Well, no, I'm not saying
Yeah.
this week, I was saying whenever you're ready, and you have some of your estimates in, or ICE, or whatever we're talking about on this stuff, and you kind of have a solid draft, so we can just
Yeah,
sit
let
down.
Katie get back. I mean, she's in Minnesota.
Yeah.
She won't be back all week.
Yeah,
Give me a week. Give me a couple of weeks.
no, that's fine,
Yeah,
just whenever you're
I'll be
ready,
there.
just give me a call.
because I
Set
will
an hour
not be,
aside.
yeah, because I will not be here in April.
Okay.
So,
What we're gonna do is we're gonna send a note out to the entire committee when the time comes to get with Anthony, and whoever can come to support Lori. It's not her sole responsibility, and we're gonna go support her in that. And then hopefully we'll have something, next meeting in a printout form or either on your emails to look at, okay?
Sounds good.
Anthony, do you need anything else from us tonight? We have a working one, that's the 130,000. If you need to turn something in, for the first read, I mean. And then we will do our best to get with you in 2 weeks to sit down and flesh that out a little better.
No, that's fine. I'm gonna go with 130,000 plus the 20,000, coming over.
Right.
From.
Right, from the rec
Mr.
center.
AJ sitting behind me here, so.
Yeah.
And I'll just start with that. I'll have a rough draft already, and then you come in with the details when you're ready, and we'll finalize it and go from there.
Okay, thank you, Anthony. Any other questions on the budget for Anthony? Any questions about what our plan is? Just, watch your, I know I'm terrible about email, I'm much better at texting, but watch your email. As soon as we get a date, everybody's invited, and we will sit down with Mr. Anthony.
Anymore.
What's that?
Did he talk to you about the audit?
Yeah, we
anymore?
had a question about that because we had, voted to have the audit done this year, this calendar year, for the taxes, the hotel motel taxes.
Yeah.
It hasn't been done in quite some time. Not that we're saying they're doing it wrong, just there hasn't been an audit in quite some time.
You can say that.
No, I've already spoken to the mayor about that. The issue with that is, in fact, just today I sent out another email. I'm soliciting for CPA firms
Yeah.
to take that audit. Those audits can be fairly spendy, and not every firm wants to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm searching now, but yes, I have spoken to the mayor about it.
Okay,
I only asked that question because, I mean, I know that if you do it in this budget, them numbers are gonna be off. Because that number that I've got in that line item that was put together last year, that was just a random number that we
it was a,
found
it was a swag.
years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, we had
So,
no
We had no,
idea what that was gonna be, so we went,
and he keeps saying audit, and so it's there. I just
Right.
didn't know.
we have no idea what it's gonna cost. So when you do get a figure, if you could kinda let us know on
Well,
that.
absolutely. Yeah. As
And
soon as I get
if
somebody
we
to
have
accept
guessed
it.
wrong, like you think
Yeah.
we're not even close, I mean, tell us now and we can change the number that we have in there now. Do you have any clue of what we would be looking at for that?
Wouldn't surprise me if it was $20,000.
I think we had 18.
I-
We were awfully close. Okay, yay
That
us.
was going
Not a
on,
bad
what Johnny
swag,
said,
pretty
right?
keen. But yeah, those things are spending.
But see, I'm looking at what we got left.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was last year's budget.
And so if it got pushed out to whenever
So
he's
we-
ready,
Right.
it can just go into the next
That'd be
budget and
good.
bump it to 2022.
Yep. I would say the likelihood of us getting it done on this year's budget is probably
Probably
slim to none
slim.
if you don't even have a bite on it yet.
Yeah, no, I've already had a couple firms turn us down.
Yeah.
It's
So
okay.
I'm thinking probably fall, if we can find somebody to do it, would be
Yeah,
probably pretty, honestly, I'd like to have it after this Bonnaroo.
yeah, that'd be a good time to do
Yeah,
it.
I would like to have it after this Bonnaroo.
Yeah.
Just timing wise, it makes sense.
Yep.
So why don't we look at, when you're talking to firms, that we would like to do it after this Bonnaroo, shooting for maybe fall.
Yeah. If I can.
Get anybody
somebody
that's
to say
interested.
yes
I
and get a
understand.
proposal from them, I will share it with you.
Okay, great, thank you.
South
We
Central,
even have it until the
Tennessee
end of
Tourism,
June. And Bonnaroo's
if your
at the beginning.
fees are going up again,
We could,
let me know.
if you could find
Or
somebody
they
to have it
kinda-
done before.
I think these
it's gonna be
take
flatlined.
a considerable amount of time.
But at least we can say that we paid for it in this budget.
It was
What we're
three-
saying is we don't
it
think we
was three
budgeted
the
enough
other day.
this year.
I gotcha.
So it'd be nice
It
if
was
we could push
three.
it.
Push it.
Yeah, well, if there's population
That's
affected
last
every 2 years,
year's
so that's probably what it was.
How much?
But
That's
it's
last
based on
year's budget.
population.
Have you?
I doubt it would go into another already, I don't think we've grown that much.
Okay.
All right.
Wait,
Oh, go ahead.
and Berto,
Yes.
whatever's going on with the ball field, ask.
Okay,
He's in
so
budget
I got a
discussion.
couple,
Oh, yes.
a couple items that I think we could use to bring in some tourists, in terms of ball fields. So this is what I was thinking to replace some of the old bleachers that we have. They're a little worn down. I mean, we've
A
had them for
little.
years. And I don't know if you've sat in hot aluminum before in the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
It's not very comfortable. So I was looking at bleacher covers. With the amount of time that I had, I couldn't get very many prices, but I did get a price from my BSN representative. It's not gonna be cheap. Bleacher covers, it came to about $155,000. That would be covering all of the ballpark bleachers. We have about 18 of them. We can pick and choose over time if we wanna do Fred Dedman first or Dave King. I'll recommend we do Dave King first, cause that's where we get most of our tournaments. And there's less bleachers to cover on that side. The bleachers themselves, we don't need as many. Some of them aren't as outdated, or they need simple repairs. That takes about $46,000. I had another quote to about $44,000, but I was not able to find that sheet. And then for the soccer covers, I did look into soccer a little bit. We don't have any permanent covers over there because our layout changes every year. So I looked into prices on getting things over there, and there is a portable shade that you can move wherever you want. I got a quote for about 8 of them, and I think it said it was about $35,000. All of this is kind of pick and choose. The things I think we need the most are bleacher covers. Bleachers would be nice, but I think most of them will last a couple more years if we need. Fencing also, some of those fences are really rusted. For Field 7, that was the most recent quote that we had, and that was about $28,000. Now, we can pick and choose which ones look the worst. Some of them aren't as bad, like Babe Ruth. And then the last thing is tennis resurfacing. The thing with that is we would have to re-fence it before we ended up resurfacing it. Resurfacing it would be about $50,000.
Is the rec center putting in anything on any of this, or this is just from us?
I'm not sure.
We're putting things in.
Right. I'm just,
Yeah, we,
money-wise, what we doing?
Last time it was resurfaced, it was from a donor. Correct?
the tennis courts, yes.
Yeah.
So the problem with the resurfacing is they have to go down under the foundation because they believe there's a problem, and that's why it keeps cracking. They say that water gets trapped in there when it floods or when it rains, so they have to go down under and fix what's under the foundation. That's why it's so expensive. And again, we would have to do the fencing first because those fences are really bad.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
So-
this sounds like it's going to be an ongoing project, in my opinion.
You
Yeah.
asked for that in your budget, AJ.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are.
We're
They
just,
just asked for,
yeah, what all they needed.
There's been
Yeah.
like several,
Yeah.
like, listen, there's been like
And that's-
several
that's
people
also not
from ball
including,
fields,
we
stuff
talked
like
with
that,
Anthony
kinda
during our budget.
coming and, you know, we
About
think
the
we might
possibility.
wanna donate something.
That'd be cool,
So,
yeah.
so we're getting some
Yeah.
pricing. So-
We asked for a dream list.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we
did,
asked
and I
for
will
a
accept this,
dream
because
From
Yeah.
them.
we don't know what
That's
you
right.
need
And
until you tell
thank you
us.
for
Yes,
Yep.
doing that.
you showed up
Y'all
and brought us what we asked for when we needed it.
Thank you.
Yes, rec
Appreciate
center's
that.
killing it.
And that doesn't also include, you know, we talked with Anthony about our big wish list of lighting Field 9, National and Miller with LEDs. We're looking at about $130,000 a field, except for Field 9's $150,000. And then also, you know, soccer needs irrigation repairs, and that's probably about $30,000 for that.
Mhm.
So, you know,
But you're gonna have a lot left over this year, right? You're not gonna spend near what we allocated this year.
that's all up in the air right now, because we had a bid opening tomorrow for the pool renovation, so we're kind of sitting back, waiting, seeing what that comes back before we start pulling the trigger on a bunch of other stuff. Because, you know, the pool's in major need of repairs right now. Because, to get the 8 filters we need for the pool, last quote I got from one of the guys that attended the pre-bid meeting was $270,000 just for the filters. So, aquatic stuff is very expensive.
Is that indoor or outdoor?
That's doing all 8 filters, so that's 2 for the lap pool, 2 for the theory pool, and then 4 for the outdoor. And then we also still have out there in the bid package, replastering the outdoor pool, fixing the lighting both in the water and on the deck. Those are the major things that come to mind. There may be a couple little things, but those are the major things we're trying to get accomplished before Memorial Day.
Well, let me ask you this. As tourism board, we always want to spend our money in where brings in money. So my thing is, out of all of your wish lists that you've given us, what brings in the most money? I'm sure it's tournaments, but is it softball tournaments? Is it baseball tournaments? Is it soccer tournaments? And what has the biggest need? What are we gonna get the most bang for our buck for y'all to bring in more tournaments this year on our budget putting this in? Obviously, we can't do it all.
If you don't agree with me, softball tournaments is where the tournaments are at.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's where most of your tournaments come from. Now, soccer, irrigation is important because it's Bermuda grass and it thrives in the heat, but it also needs water. So if we have hard summer with no rain, then our grass is gonna die. So you can't track tournaments nor have play for the local.
Right.
leagues if
Do
don't
you
grass.
have anything in your budget to address the grass or no?
We're gonna ask
Or
to
the
add it.
irrigation? Okay,
We're gonna ask to add it.
okay.
We're still putting our spreadsheet together of things we'd like to accomplish
Right.
this next fiscal year, but
Right.
it's gonna be in there.
Okay. So, and that's one of the smaller amounts, 30,000-ish, right, if I'm remembering? Okay. So let's put that off to the side. Hopefully, they'll let you pay for irrigation to save you grass. So, looking at,
Dave King. Dave King Park, the softball.
Mhm.
It sounds like the next.
So, looking at softball, fences, bleachers, shades, what is the most needed in that particular area? Because I think, to me, this sounds like we're gonna have to do softball 1 year, baseball fields 1 year, soccer fields 1 year. So we're talking about a project, hand in hand. So it sounds like if the softball fields bring in the most money from outside of the area, let's do what we can on this budget for those. Then if baseball fields are next, let's do what we can for those the next year. Soccer, if that's, the next. And hopefully within your budget, you can also address some items as well.
Right.
Okay, so softball, bleachers, fencing, shades.
Let's say fencing on field 7 is gonna be your biggest item.
Okay, and how much for softball fencing on field 7?
Which one's field 7?
28,000.
28,000?
Okay,
That's the one, if you come up from the pay parking lot, the
Yeah.
first one on the left.
you said you thought you could get us another couple of years out of the bleachers. If we got you some shades, obviously not 150,000 worth, but if you wanted to put some shades over there, what are we looking at?
I'm thinking bleachers first.
Bleachers first, okay, because those bleachers are not as good as the baseball bleachers.
That and also you don't wanna go buying shade for the bleachers you have now.
Good point, because they might be a different size.
Right, they may be a different size and things.
All right, so rough estimate, no, that's very true. Rough estimate, new bleachers that are needed over there for softball only.
I would say between 20, 30,000.
Okay, so 60,000-ish for an ask would address softball, fencing, and bleacher needs in the upcoming year. Could we live with that? It's an ask.
Yeah.
It's an ask.
I mean,
So I looked at 10 bleachers, all of the softball ones need to be replaced.
You're not gonna get it if you don't ask for it.
Yeah.
Well, we make good money from the tournaments that we
And
have
it's just getting
now.
to the point where, what is the point of us throwing out all this advertisement and everything being broken?
Well, let me just tell you how I feel about this. The city is not broke. We got the money. We could do everything you want to do next year's budget. For the baseball fields, the soccer fields, the tennis court, you're looking at $500,000, right? close to it, and they'll take care of everything. And why we want to just penny and nickel and dime everything to death and drag it out and drag it out and drag it out, I have yet to understand. I don't know why we don't just do it, fix it. We've got the money, we ought to do it. I'm gonna do my best
So put down
to
$500
see
million.
that we can get that in the budget. Just one voice out of 6, but let's quit this stuff.
Right there with you.
Let's fix it.
I put an addendum on all of that, and it's generally, it's the spiel I give all of my directors, is you put the ask in, but you have it prioritized, and then if something is cut, it's just,
From the bottom.
a no this year is not
From-
necessarily a no next
Right,
year.
right.
And what you've done, you've at least telegraphed,
What our plans are for the future.
right, what, you know, what's coming up, and you let the board know, and then if they say no this year, okay, well, then you put it back in next year, and then you remind them, okay, this is, you said no last year, this is moving up the priority list, so here it is again this year. So it doesn't hurt
Well,
to
let's
ask
add
in a business
shades.
case.
Let's add shades, and then if they say no, okay,
It's
then we
just
still
no.
want the fencing and the bleachers. So, how's that? Can we live with that? And hopefully we would get the softball fields done this year.
But you need to ask for that, right? We don't need, do we need to ask for that? Shouldn't that come under your department?
Depends on how you wanna do it.
Yeah.
I mean, either way.
Well, we're gonna get $130,000, we're not gonna buy $146,000 worth of shades.
Well,
Well, that was for all the parks.
Okay, I know, yeah. but-
what we're saying is, we have money that we don't, that we're not using,
Yeah.
that we need to. We have to, how much is sitting?
There's like 300 and something thousand in that.
Yeah. I don't like that we never touch it,
Yeah,
and I think we have a sincere need
yeah.
at the rec center. I'm not saying spend $300,000, but I'm saying, you know,
Half of it's not bad.
well, I'm thinking at least
Okay.
100.
I'll give you an example.
All right.
Like the irrigation system, I think tourism is the one that went for that grant when it got put down there. But there was no backup plan to repair it or have anything like that. So that should have come out of the budget to fix the irrigation.
So we got an irrigation system at the soccer field. I know we do because we got the pump in the river and the big pond and all that stuff. So are we gonna totally replace that with a new $30,000 system, or are we gonna fix that?
That'll be fixing it.
Okay.
So it'll be redoing the electric and replacing valves and
Yeah.
irrigation heads and that type of thing. Right now, we have to use city water because the pond won't hold water.
Yeah,
That's always been a
it's
problem.
always been a problem, yeah.
Whenever, we've tried different things, we've tried adding some benzonite to it,
Yeah.
we've tried adding a liner, it just won't do it. Whenever the well pump ran out, that's when the pond dried up, because the well pump is what was keeping it filled with water.
Yeah.
So we've been using city irrigation or city water whenever it is working. Now, on the one practice field, we use a water cannon, but the other fields, championship field and then the other field in the back, we use actual irrigation system.
I also feel once the audit comes through, we will have
We'll have
more.
more money.
We'll have
We
more
will.
money. So, okay, we're gonna give a big ask according to Anthony, but we're gonna prioritize. We want fencing first, we want bleachers second, we want shades third. Shades for softball. Just softball, how much?
Shades for softball,
About half that.
I just looked at one model, so the
Right.
price could change.
I understand, and we are just big
If I
numbers.
had to ballpark it, 60.
All right, add 10%.
So I'm gonna say 70.
Add 10%.
Actually, we'll do 65.
I think
Make
that's
the
what I
middle.
did when I made the budget, is I added 10% to everything, didn't I? I think so.
Okay, so we've got fencing, 20, let's just say 30, 30, and 70.
That's 100. So,
Yeah. 30, 30, 70, because we've got 300 sitting there that we don't use. This is obviously a need that would bring in money. When we have the audit, we are going to have more money. I know we will. We just gotta spend it to get it. So that's 100. And you guys are gonna ask for the 30 to save your grass on the soccer, okay?
Along with our other asks.
I understand,
Well,
well,
just to
and
get-
I can't tell you they're gonna go for this, but, you know, money's just sitting there not helping anybody.
You got
Uh,
one. You got one. Gotta work on the others.
So baseball,
We need three
FYI,
more.
in your planning,
You
we
need
would
at
like
least
to do
3 more
baseball our
votes.
next budget. So take a real good hard look and let's see what we can do there. We will keep AJ informed as to how the audit goes, as to how much we have. Can y'all live with that? And we'll let you know how we do. All right, anybody else got anything else for the budget?
So is this where I need to talk about where we have to ask for the envelopes and the rack cards as part of the marketing grant?
I don't know, is this
So-
where?
I mean, so I put in that line item, 20,000 last year. And
Do you
we
need
didn't-
more?
We didn't get that all, so that one's kinda,
It's
Are you
okay
gonna
where it
need more
is.
than that in the
Yeah.
next year?
Well, this is, I mean, I need $20,000. I think we're talking
So how
about
much you
something
need?
else. This is where we're getting it's for the marketing of when people come into town.
Yes.
Or they,
Yes,
you
and
know,
y'all
we
been
send
working on
things
that. Yeah,
out,
we've
yeah.
already voted to do that.
okay, but I had to get quotes.
Okay,
So do I need to give those to you for, I mean, you've already approved the money. I wasn't
Yeah.
at the last one, I'm
Right.
sorry.
no, we'll do that. That's gonna be on this budget. This is,
Okay.
this is future. No,
Gotcha.
no, it's all good. All right,
and really the art grant discussion, that was really just to figure out what Katie's answer was on that, so.
so we'll pin that.
We'll just, yeah, we'll have to come back to that.
That's fine.
Okay.
All right, so any other information?
Budget questions.
And then we're gonna pin the ARP, right?
Mhm.
Okay. All right, now you're up, Miss Katie, with the chamber.
Okay. I don't have anything personally like from Katie, other than the only thing was just, thanking or letting them know that, about going to I went to the Blizzard Reimagined and, just letting them know. I enjoyed it. I personally liked the year before better. I thought the year before was a lot more informative. This year it was good, but,
It was okay.
yeah.
I went with you, obviously, and I think next year, a rec center, and obviously AJ, I think it probably needs to be you. There was a ton of people there that did sports all over the state. So I think instead of a representative from our committee, I'm not sure we're the target audience. I think chamber needs to go,
Yes,
and I think rec center needs to go.
go.
I honestly it was nice to be in the room and, listen to all the things, but I didn't feel like we got the bang for the buck with one of us going. I think a rec center representative making good contacts with other people in other areas. Hey, how do you do this to attract more tournaments? Who do you use for this? All those types of things. And then obviously the chamber going is what makes sense. But just my 2 cents, if somebody, from here wants to go next year, all about it. But I think, honestly, I was the wrong person in the room for us, but it's all good.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, when we're talking about travel, I'm gonna drop that line item to almost nothing.
Yeah. I really think our partners need to include that in y'all's budgets, and y'all probably need to be the ones in the room. I just really feel like sending someone from us, you need more fencing and bleachers than you do one of us in that room just to say one of us went. So, in my humble opinion. But when it rolls around next year, y'all can make your own call. Katie, you said you had some
I do, so.
money things?
Yeah, so I got, Beaver Press did not get back with me. So I do have Franklin Printworks and Minuteman Press, they're both members as well. But, so we have the 9x12 catalog envelopes, and on the front of it will be the Manchester mural, so it'll be full color, on the one side. This is the envelope that we'll put things in, so if somebody calls or somebody comes in and they're wanting to know about things in the area of Manchester, or what we have, that's where our resource guide will go, and our tourism magazine, and then any type of rack cards, whether it be, if they're interested in the Jack Daniels, or the wine trails, the whiskey trail, our parks and stuff like that, we'll put all that in there to send off to them. And then the other thing was rack cards, so, in our tourism magazine, actually the last couple of years, and we'll continue it again this year, because we're in the process. We have a partnership with the Exchange Media Group, and we do a tourism magazine that comes out in June. And so we've just started that, and, for the new, edition, there's itineraries in there. So they'll have like, the first one is Outdoor Enthusiast, another one is, The Spirited Traveler, a day out with the family. So it gives them an itinerary of places to go in Manchester and things to do. So these rack cards will be one of each of those, and they'll be full color on one side, and it'll have an itinerary of places that are in our area of them to visit and see, whether it be hotels, parks, places to eat, things like that. And so those are things that'll go in those, but also to have in our office, we'll be able to have in hotels everywhere, so when people do come visit, they'll see those and be like, oh, there's something to do, you know? And so, yeah, so these quotes are for the 9x12 envelopes and then the rack cards. And I did 1,000 of each of the rack cards.
Yeah, we talked about that,
And they're
1,000 to
full
start.
color. And Franklin, their request is you have to do 500. They come in the catalogs, the envelopes, they come in a box of 500, so they require you to. Minuteman Press doesn't. You can do 100 at a time, but it's, you can do whatever you want. So I don't know that we're gonna go through 500 of them that quickly, but if it saves money, the more you buy, the cheaper it is.
Right.
But it looks like Minuteman Press is probably gonna be the cheapest. Beaver Press, I've asked them twice now, and she hadn't got back with me, because I was told to get 3 quotes, and so.
Well,
Yeah.
if two's all you got, two's all you
Yeah.
got.
So, and those are we use Minuteman Press for a lot of things.
Yeah.
They're very, very reputable, and
Well,
Franklin's good too.
we use them for the first rack cards that we made that had the QR code
Yeah,
on them.
yep.
Are you guys good with going with the lowest bid, Minuteman Press?
I'm good with that.
Okay. We've already approved doing
Approved, yeah.
this. This is just her doing her due diligence. So, you good with
It's like
Minuteman?
$215.95 for
Yeah.
the catalog, I don't know why I keep saying catalogs, envelopes, sorry. And then the
Probably
rack
cover
cards, I
that
think,
$10,000,
are.
can't we? We probably take that $10,000 to cover that.
Yeah, I'm not asking for 10 grand. It's not gonna
So we've
cost
already
10 grand.
approved her, so do you
I think
need
it's
anything?
well below the budget. So I
Oh,
think the
yes, it
budget
is.
was like total.
That's where we're going with these.
We're going with Minuteman. Do you need anything else on that, Lori? Okay, thank you, Katie. Are you good?
Yeah.
You tell Miss Katie we're thinking about her, and then,
She actually, I think, will be back. I think the funeral is actually tomorrow, and
Okay.
then she's coming back tomorrow.
oh,
And, because we have Coffee County Leadership on
Yeah.
Wednesday, and she just, she doesn't want to miss
well, if
it,
y'all
so.
need anything from
Yeah.
us, please let us know.
Okay.
AJ, I know we've kind of hit you throughout the meeting. Do you have anything else?
I think we're good.
Uh-huh. Thank y'all seriously for
Thank
coming
you
and
so
delivering
much.
everything that we needed spot on.
Appreciate it.
So we love that. All right, South Central Tourism.
I didn't stay to do that, I just stayed in case you guys got any questions.
Okay, I don't.
Questions?
I don't. Do you?
All right now, she's wanting to, she's gonna wanna talk about taking that geocaching out. I know that for sure.
Yeah, geocache, yeah, we're sunsetting geocaching, replacing that. Activations, I do know a couple things that will affect Manchester. We got some pickups on the new Sounds Like Summer campaigns coming out with the state. We pitched several things with that. There's an influencer in town last week. I think she did, I know she did Beans Creek, I know she did Coffee Island. I think she went a couple other places too. Nashville's Big Backyard, over on the western part of our region, we've been able to add someone for socials, which is gonna shift, we picked up a social media expert, McKenna Eddy, who came to town today. We met with the chamber, about our social media program, so you'll have kind of a little bit of a boosted effort there between 2 people. So, there's that. At some point, I'd like to bring advanced travel and tourism to the table for you guys. I know, yeah, right now, they're one of the leading travel agencies that we use, state uses that we use. And they've got a package together that's really a pretty attractive deal for 25. We bought into it as a region, so there's a co-op opportunity for you guys. I know this year you're spending roughly $17,000 in marketing. You get half that back with the marketing grant. I would encourage you to increase your marketing efforts. Like when you're talking to when you're talking to the rec department, for example, one of the things that we're encouraging people to do, windscreens with your logo on it. You get these nice shades and bleachers and all that, but people that are visiting from outside of town, give them your landing page for your website. And we do have the new website that's coming up. I would say, did the mayor talk to you about Mark Allen for the audit?
No.
Because Mark Allen did the last audit. We had the same problem. We couldn't find anybody. We went everywhere. But Mark Allen did the last audit for the city of Manchester. It was about $21,000 for 22 hotels. So it's kind of, you guys are kind of in line with your thing. We've had a few more hotels added since then. Now, the other thing that that was supposed to move forward, there were supposed to be 3 hotel audits per year after that. I don't know where that fell through. The city was supposed to fund that. But the last time we did it, we basically said if there's findings, those findings reimburse the tourism commission first. I would encourage that just because, I mean, I'm an alderman. I'm just telling you guys, we shouldn't realize the benefit at the same rate that you guys do if you are funding it. In fact, if it comes up for the full board, I'm gonna ask to amend that whatever the findings are, reimburse you guys first and then go through the formula.
Especially if we pay for the audit, yeah.
Exactly, and that's why, and last time that was the agreement. Then
Anthony, can you make sure that's part of the agreement that we proposed this time? If we're gonna pay for the audit, we'd like the money first.
And if it's already to that, I'll amend it once it comes, but I mean, I just think it's fair. I mean, because the city, well, the last audit we did, same thing, we paid for it, we said, hey, if there are any findings, because we know if there's gonna be any findings, if there are any findings, we just want to be reimbursed first. So, it was $150,000 in findings, is roughly what it was, $156,000. And, we were reimbursed first, then went through the formula and was distributed that way. But, subsequent to that, there were supposed to be 3, random audits performed each year, and those never happened. Which they never get you in a, that, you should never have a $20,000 audit again, you should just have those 3 and kind of keep up with it, so. But anyway, that's kind of all, I was just here for questions, I didn't want to.
No, thank
No,
you.
thanks.
Thank you. And I didn't know about the pay us first if we pay for the audit, but I agree with you. I think that's fair. So, whatever that looks like, Anthony, I want to be sure that that's part of the deal.
We're working with the town on, right now, similar, like new fencing, and a lot of the fencing companies also do the printing, like they'll have a print vendor, and we actually put that in the audit, or we put that in the quote, the bid, saying, hey, you have to have windscreens on the fences, one that help, and they had to be branded, and we put that in the quote from the beginning for that community that we're running with. That's just a good way to get them done for a lot cheaper, because they'll a lot of times throw those in to get the fence bid, so,
Okay.
something to think about.
Yeah. All right. I know that we have some people here who want to talk to us, and I don't think we have committee reports since it was budget day. So who's up first?
I guess that's, y'all want to go?
Sure.
Go ahead. Yeah, you've already made your payment.
I'll say, I don't know exactly what is needed, I've never been here before.
Just tell us who you are and what you want.
What you want.
Okay. So my name's Elena Murray, I am the president of Park Partners. Are y'all familiar with Park Partners? Okay.
I'm not. What is it?
So, a nonprofit organization that helps, we've helped with several projects over the years, so the original playground that is out
Yes,
there.
yes, yes. Okay. I just didn't know your name. Got it, got it.
So, and my form is halfway filled out because this is it's not really an event, it's a more permanent structure. But we're looking to build a new playground at Fred Dedman. We're really working hard at this point on funding. I don't know what else.
Well, I think it benefits, I definitely think it benefits when we look at entertaining people who come for, softball, baseball tournaments. They oftentimes have little kids, brothers, sisters, whatever.
So you guys are
So-
looking for sponsorships, is my understanding.
Yes.
Is what they're looking
Okay.
for.
Okay,
And of course, I have, obviously, like, we cannot fund the whole project.
oh, no.
It's a big amount. But we do sponsor things, and, I feel like we are community development.
Mhm.
And I feel like we just need to be a sponsor on this project.
Well, and like I say, if you look at, from a tourism standpoint, we are looking to make the ball fields more attractive.
Yes. This will
For-
definitely do that.
Yes, we are looking to make the ball fields more attractive, looking to invest $100,000 in the upcoming year to make softball more attractive. And if there's something for, obviously, the bathrooms have been redone, which is good, and so if we could do some work on the playground, it's,
Yeah, so the current playground, the plan is the current playground will no longer exist once we build this new playground. It is, falling apart at this point. There's a lot of broken pieces,
Yeah.
things that are having to be removed, things like that. So instead of trying to replace those things, we're looking to build the whole new playground.
So sponsorship, what dollar amount are we looking at in order to be a sponsor?
Y'all go ahead.
Just
Go
do
ahead,
it,
just-
just say
We're
it.
talking
Just
big
say
numbers.
Where's that?
We didn't
What's
really
the total
discuss
cost
what-
of it?
So on our
No, we've got the
paperwork,
different,
Yeah.
we've got the different levels
Levels,
that
yeah.
are, set up now. Obviously, we're just getting started. We've got
Right.
$100,000, that's been, said that an anonymous donor. That's the biggest that we have at this point, but because the current playground is in such
Disrepair.
Yeah.
it is.
Pitiful
it's
shape.
dangerous, and it's been there for almost 30 years. And so, I know.
Okay, so on,
the age of my kids.
so Lori,
$100,000?
from our standpoint on that sheet, what can we do?
so,
Yeah, I use a lot.
on that
yeah.
sheet that Elena has, the top amount that you can contribute to sponsorship is about $4,000.
Okay.
And I know that's low, I know that's nothing.
Well, listen, everything that we give them, they're gonna give it back to us.
Right,
So, yeah.
it's gonna come back.
In return, I just feel like, we do need to be a sponsor. We sponsor multiple things, these festivals and this and that. and
Right,
I think
and
this is
it's not
fair.
that we think that you're not a good investment, we just have to be sure in this budgetary item that we save money for other people too. So it's not that we don't think you're great, it's just we have to follow the rules when it comes to how much money we dole out to each person when they come. Yeah, but I'm fine with
Is
maxing
there a
it.
rule for how much we give? What's the rule?
4,000 is the max.
Well, that sucks.
I'm just curious, because I don't obviously know about the playground, but, what's the timeline on this thing?
Well, when we talked to the mayor, and of course, like we were on Thunder Radio last week. It all just depends on money, but, Mayor Hobbs was really, wanting to see us get started in the fall.
Okay.
The current playground needs to come out,
So
but
what,
we hate to take that out without putting,
Right.
Something
so,
is,
so what you do have by the fall is what you're gonna go ahead and start investing in, correct?
Well, I think when the board got on, or when the partners met, I think it was decided that they wanted to wait and get all the funding and do it all at once instead of doing it. in
That was the
phases.
last decision, and, we've talked about a phased approach, but really, how do you phase it, and then if we, just do like the groundwork and then get stuck, then that won't do.
Okay, well,
Very good.
let me ask the board this. If we do it in a sponsorship form, we can only do $4,000. But is that something we can look at adding
In the budget?
in the budget?
Yes.
Not in a sponsorship, just flat out money. I would be in support of that.
Yeah.
we are in support of that.
Because that form's great, but 4,000's your ceiling. So we are talking budget for next year, and I would be in support of giving you a bigger dollar amount in next year's budget Guys, what are we thinking?
What's the total cost?
I was thinking 20.
Yeah.
Mhm. So that would be 24 from us in the calendar year. Could we live with that, ladies?
Sam?
That's assuming that we can get it passed.
Well,
in
I mean,
budget.
you know, we can give you 4 tonight. 20, we've got to go to BOMA.
I'll give you 4 out of this budget.
Yeah. And then we've got to ask for that, and then that new budget kicks in July, and they can say yes or no. I mean, you know, but, I would like to do more than 4.
So I propose that we give $4,000 to the park partners
Mm-hmm.
out of this
This year's budget,
this year's budget.
as a sponsorship.
Yes, as a sponsorship.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right.
What's the total cost that you're looking at for the playground? What's the total cost?
You're looking at about $850,000.
That's okay. Katie.
850.
And then, now
It
do
doesn't
we,
seem like it ought to be that much, does it?
Golly.
And,
now, do we need a motion to do
It
that?
does.
know.
Not if it's budget. No, because we're just proposing it to BOMA at this point.
I've got a park and recreation degree. I know.
So you can just add in that
I think we ought to bring back middle flight.
when we sit down. And ladies, we're not ladies, we're not gonna vote on the 20 tonight because we're adding it into the budget and then it's an ask. So we can't vote and say yes or no one way or the other, so. To be determined, okay? You're welcome.
Sign,
Where?
wherever.
Okay. There we go. Okay, Common John, you're up. Ladies, thank you for coming
Thank you so
tonight and
much.
thank you for all you're doing.
So I'm here, Miss Katie Riddle, of course, you guys know she couldn't be, and unfortunately, Katie didn't get to link up and give Joey his form to fill out. So instead, we just thought we'd take the opportunity to introduce himself, give you guys sort of a heads up, so therefore next month when y'all meet, he can come in. So this is Mr. Joey Gibson. He's from Manchester. He's been traveling across the country for 10 years now? 35 years. Forever.
Is your mama Joe?
Joe Deal?
Yep.
So Joey's been traveling across, competing in banjo competitions, guitar competitions, and all that forever. And so he approached us. He was like, I really want to do one in Manchester. And of course, his idea and his hope is that it'll grow to like so many other that he does across the nation on the square and utilizing that. So of course, as you guys are just sitting there talking about, the production just to put that on alone is anywhere from a $15,000 to $20,000 cost. So Joey, come to us. We already have the infrastructure set up, as well as we looked at the dollar amount. We're looking at around $12,000 to $14,000 to put this event on. Common John, we've already went over the numbers up and back, left and right. The most we can commit is between 7 and 8. And then, so we thought we would come here for Joey to present in regards to that. So that's sort of it. And now, everybody, Mr. Joey Gibson.
Yeah, I've been doing competitions since I was 10 years old, so 35 years. And the competitions is different from your festivals, because you got a constant stream of people coming in and out. So there's not just somebody coming and staying the whole day, leaving. There's gonna be, I've got people all over the southeast that I've done competitions with for years that will be coming down on Friday evening and staying in hotels Friday night and then doing the competition Saturday. And then there will be advertisement, like I said, all over the southeast. And I'll even go all the way over to Winfield, Kansas for the national championship. And that flyers and advertisement, and people will be coming from Virginia, West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania. A lot of people that I've just played with for over the years. And my grandparents done a competition in the late 80s, and they had it at the fairgrounds. And it was Joe and Joyce McCullough that put that competition on.
I remember this.
And that lasted, I guess it lasted for about 4 years. And then I never got to enter that one. I didn't start, like I said, till 90. And then it's just been something I've wanted to do for a long time. And Manchester is the ideal place to do it. And then with the Common Johns doing it, letting me do it there, it's right off the interstate. It's going to draw in a lot of people. And then I've got a category for 14 and under just for kids. And I've already got 2 sponsors, that Daring Banjos is gonna give me a banjo to give away in the 14 and under and Gold Tone. So I've already got some really good, prize sponsors. I just need, you know, the grant to take care of all the instruments and, prizes and stuff. And it's gonna be deemed the Southeast Banjo Championship. So and I'm gonna try to make it, an annual event and make it the biggest competition in the nation. So I can do it, I just need to get it started. So this would be inaugural.
Well, and what's cool is like you were sitting there talking, guys, he's gonna be traveling across the United States from now until September. And be out there promoting
So when are we
Manchester.
looking at doing this?
September.
Okay. And what is the ask?
So the ask is gonna be, we're expecting anywhere from our cap, since we've built all new parking now, our capacity is 600 to 750 people. And so that's sort of what, our beer festival, we had 689 people at our beer festival. The beer, Blues, Brews, and Barbecue, we had 620 estimated. For Good Friends Fest alone, which is a local event, we had over 475 people. For our Haunts and Hops run, we had 350 people just there for the run. And over 60% of those were from outside of a 20-mile radius of Coffee County. So we've been doing work to expand our
To expand
parking,
and give
to
more.
be able to give us more. So, but right now, to be safe, we're sitting at that 500 to 700 people. So that's probably what the expected, based upon what we've been building up the last 4 years.
Okay. So what's the ask? What are y'all looking for?
I believe we're gonna try to go for $3,000 to $4,000 based upon the number of people that we're bringing in.
Okay.
So you guys are gonna pitch in 6, 7,
Right now, we're looking at 7,200, between 7,200 and $8,000 is what Common John's gonna be investing, not counting the production and all that other stuff, which we already have built in.
so it's gonna cost 12 grand to do it?
On paper, it was 12 to 13.
Yeah.
12 to
13
13.
on the high side, y'all are going $6,000 short.
Mhm.
Is there any entrance fees, or are there any kind of fees or anything that makes up the difference between?
We're gonna make sure it's gonna be covered regardless. If you guys help, we knew we could bring, we knew we could hit 8. If you guys could give us 4, we'll find the rest of it to make, we know what we got.
And you have to account for our own advertising that we are pushing for, like, on our reels and all of our already marketing stuff too.
Yeah, and the competition that I'll do myself will be Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, Kentucky, Arkansas, Kansas, I'll even be in Oklahoma, and possibly Texas, so. And I'll have them going all over the country. And then a lot of these people that do these competitions, they travel that far. Like, I'll be in Winfield, Kansas, like I said, it's the national championship, and
I'm all
that's
jacked
12
up
hours
right
for
now.
me, and there'll be people, last year
I can't
was
tell.
two guys there from Japan. So I'm gonna hand out flyers, and that'll be the weekend before mine. So there's gonna be a big turnout, because like I said, the people that do these competitions, they love them, and especially towards that end of the year.
I've got
Because after we do
$775
mine,
right
there'll
now.
only be one more in Athens, Alabama, and that'll be it for the year.
So
So,
people come,
Because
people
I've
spend
not
the
had my
night,
hand on any of this.
Yeah.
at least one night.
to do a competition.
So-
But we've got 12.
Yeah, there's 12.
If they're doing competitions all day Saturday,
spent-
probably stay Saturday night too.
Very possible.
Very
Friday and
possible.
Saturday.
Because they'll be in Friday
Or
for it.
Friday, some of them, and then Saturday, some others.
Yeah, because you're right, Joseph, the competition will go from roughly 11 o'clock in the morning until 5, 6 in the evening. The competition will go all day.
They're gonna fill the car up with gas, they're gonna eat somewhere, Common John's great, they're gonna eat somewhere.
Oh, they're gonna go. Well, then again, that's even like what we're doing. We still have a lot of work to do, but one of the main drivers to Common John is Old Stone Fort hiking. People coming through, staying here at hotels to go hike at Fiery Gizzard. go down in Lynchburg. So we're trying to build it out on the website in its entirety to where we already have a link now to where you can go. And the hotel partners we have, where you get discounts if you say Common John, they're already on our websites. And so we're continuing to try to work and do that.
And
Yep.
he came back to us last night.
What is the banjo in other areas, how many people
And there's Shannon.
Oh, the other competitions?
Yeah.
It's,
I mean, I know
So I'm
it's
looking
different
at-
everywhere.
yeah, if you get like the square
I can roll out of
type
here.
Franklin Bluegrass on the harbor.
Because we just gave the
Smithville
playground
Jamboree,
four.
I mean, you're looking at, 20,000
Got
people
some
over a
advertising
weekend,
stuff
30,000 people.
here.
One, I mean, situations like mine,
in the
which
stack,
close to
so
like school settings.
that doesn't mean it's
where
not there, so.
You're looking at anywhere
Thanks for the
between,
invite.
you know,
Wanted to
100
sit down.
competitors. But it's
You
not
would
just
have a
banjo, it'll be
conversation
banjo,
anyway.
guitar competition, fiddle,
In fact, that's what I
dobro,
just started doing.
There'll be people
Because
come
I've
to
asked
it,
to
it's
come.
not.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
not
true.
just in it too, yeah, so you can kind of figure from there.
they'll be coming from
Wait.
everywhere.
Yeah, because it is the banjo championship, but again, like you said, it's gonna be fiddle, dobro,
And then the 14 and under is kind of, we're basing, a lot of it on.
Yeah,
Because
it's
that way
not,
give me
Plan on being a little
yeah,
bigger
it's
next
not
year.
until
Yeah, it'll be
September, so technically, we can
Hopefully
give
we'll
them
grow it all
on
the way to
the
the square.
next budget.
There you go.
next budget. And
You
because
think
it
of
won't
the
be
banjo
cut
competition?
Yeah.
Smith will come back.
unless.
Well,
it only
and that's
be
been the
cut
tough
if
thing,
I
even with
really
us, we got
request it.
Joey and we got
Yeah,
Becky
I
all
I
in
think,
town. And it's hard for us to be able to put on an event to pay Becky what her minimum is.
So
We
really,
just
it's,
can't make,
it's
we can't
26
make bluegrass
fiscal,
work in
2026
Manchester, so
fiscal
that means
year
we're gonna have to force
expense
people to
really,
come.
so.
We're gonna have to bring
The
people out.
only, the only,
Yeah, this is gonna bring a lot of people.
I guess it just depends on how you wanna play it, if you have the
Like I
extra
said,
money.
making it can be, I know it'll be
Cut the
bigger
check now and
than,
take the hit in
Smithville
this year.
Do we
Well, I'm
have
looking
it
forward be
to
the
take the
biggest
hit
in
on, I guess
country.
is my question.
As far as
I know it's
competition
good,
wise, it's gonna be
I just don't know how many other
We're
things
still-
we've got sitting out there.
That's us, we don't know how many things we got sitting out there.
Yeah,
The
that's gonna be
event
the
is not
biggest
until
in the
September.
country, and then,
And if you
but right now,
can't do it
Winfield,
now,
Kansas, that's
then
kind
you
of
just-
the
yeah.
biggest one. And that's a 4-day event. And I'm looking, possibly be 3 or 4 days, 5, 10 years, somewhere in there.
All right.
I think it's cool. I don't listen to banjos, but I'd go.
I love bluegrass.
I
mean, I like that
I don't know,
music,
I
I'm not
understand
a,
that.
Looking
never
at
went to
it, they're
Bing
probably,
Boston
maybe
Festival.
they were dated.
I played that a couple of times.
Look at the difference
Y'all
between
there.
what I ran
Yeah.
from March and what you had.
And that's
from
another
Well, there's
thing, these
also a difference
competitions
between
are,
what he saw and what he
starting to
cleared
fade
after,
away
you know,
when
what was still outstanding and what cleared.
And that's what I grew up
I'm
on.
gonna say
And
4, but not till
all
July
of the
4th.
friends that I have, that I grew up with as kids,
I was
you
gonna
know,
say,
never
I
got in
think we need
trouble,
some
they, they
paperwork.
were
We need some
always-
paperwork,
Yeah.
and then if it all
That's another
rolls,
good thing I'd like
if
to
it's
get.
all good, then look
All right.
at next year's, but, okay. So we've talked to the money man,
Yeah.
and we're gonna need paperwork, and we're gonna need some documentation that, other than your Common John's friend, that this is gonna happen, and, we need a definite date in September, not
Yes,
just
ma'am. We already have
September.
one. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, not just September, we need a definite date. And, can you come back next meeting?
Yes, ma'am, that's what, I sort of, this was
Yeah.
Joey's first time.
Yeah.
So I wanted him to come in, go through the process, and me to be here to
Yes,
help him.
and then
Is that
if we
on the
do look at
agenda?
doing this,
You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
it's probably gonna be on next, because you're not looking at doing the event until September.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it's gonna be on, after July 1 on next budget.
Yes, ma'am.
But, yeah, before we can look at how much, where, when, what, we need some details and paperwork on your event, and then the specifics on, when it would be at Common John's. Okay?
That sounds good.
Awesome.
When is the next meeting?
April 10th.
April 10th, same place, same time.
Right, right.
wait, no.
No.
No, it's
No.
14th, April
14th.
14th. All right, we need a secretary for next meeting. Miss Lori will not be here. Would you be able to do that, Miss Lori? Awesome.
Thank you.
If your
So,
name's not Lori, you're not really belong on this.
you really don't. I mean, Mark is just such a dud name.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Yes. Can I have a second?
Yeah, let's go.
Lori.
Yep.
So what we'll do is we'll get that.
I'm only a little
All
bit
in
late.
favor, get up and leave.
Get up and leave. All right, see y'all next month.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
To email me over that grant form.
And then how do we turn that off?
For Joey.
We need to turn it off. Turn it off.